I've never been hunted by wolves before, until one spared my life and claimed me as his bride. They call him the Monster King, a beast who rules with blood and fear. But when he saved my dying son with mysterious powers, I discovered the dangerous truth. The alpha who murdered my husband now protects us both. His golden eyes hide secrets darker than midnight, and the mark he burned into my palm binds me to him forever. When enemies attacked and took my child, I saw the monster transform into something else entirely, a man willing to wage war for a family he never thought he'd have. Subscribe right now and comment Alpha if you've ever discovered the person you feared most might be your only salvation. I hear them before I see them. The wind carries their howls through the broken windows of the abandoned barn. My fingers shake as I tuck the thin blanket around Eli. His small body burns with fever. His eyes remain closed. My son hasn't spoken in months. Not since that night. Not since the rogues came and destroyed everything we had. I press my lips to his forehead. Stay quiet, baby. Stay hidden. His breath comes in short gasps. The medicine I scavenged isn't working. We need something stronger, something I can't find in these ruined villages at the edge of Northern Territory. The howls grow closer. My heart pounds against my ribs. We've survived 3 months on the run, sleeping in abandoned buildings, stealing what we need. I lift the rotted floorboard and slide Eli into the small space beneath. His eyes flutter open, wide with fear. Shh, I whisper. Like our game, count to 100. Don't make a sound. He nods, pressing his small hands over his mouth. I cover him with hay and replace the board. The door splinters behind me. A massive gray wolf stalks inside, yellow eyes fixed on me. 2 more follow, their muzzles pulled back in hungry snarls. I back away, clutching the small knife in my pocket. The blade won't save me. Nothing will. Please, I whisper. I'm just passing through. The lead wolf transforms. His naked human form reveals scars across his chest, his eyes still animal yellow. A human female, he says, all alone in wolf territory. His voice is rough, like stones dragging across metal. My stomach tightens as the other wolves circle behind me. I'll leave, I say. I'm nobody. He steps closer. His nostrils flare as he scents the air. Something shifts in his expression. You smell like fear, he says. And something else. Something hidden. My breath catches as his eyes scan the barn. He knows. Somehow he knows I'm protecting something. There's nothing. I start. The roof explodes. Wood and straw rain down as a massive black shape crashes through. The force throws me against the wall. The black wolf stands in the center of the barn, twice the size of the others. Muscles ripple beneath midnight fur. Eyes like molten gold scan the room. The rogues attack as one. Blood sprays across the hay. Bodies slam against walls. Growls and whimpers fill the space. I crawl toward the hiding place, desperate to reach Eli. A wolf body flies over my head, crashing into the wall. Bones crack. He doesn't get up. When silence falls, only the black wolf remains. He stands in the center of the barn, blood dripping from his jaws. 3 bodies lie broken around him. His massive head turns. Golden eyes lock onto mine. Something ancient and terrifying lives in that gaze. Something that knows death intimately. My legs give out. I collapse to my knees. This is how I die. The wolf approaches slowly, each step deliberate. Blood marks his path. He stops before me, his head level with mine though I kneel, his breath hot on my face. Those golden eyes study me. Not with hunger, with something else. Something human. Then he turns, padding toward the door. At the threshold, he stops. Looks back at me. Waits. I don't understand until he growls, low and impatient. He wants me to follow. Dawn breaks cold and gray. I awaken surrounded by blood that isn't mine. Eli clutched to my chest, still burning with fever. A man stands at the edge of the clearing, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black. When he turns, I see his face. Hard planes and angles, a scar running from temple to jaw. Eyes that match the wolf's, molten gold, inhuman. He approaches slowly, as the wolf did, each movement controlled and dangerous. "You trespassed in my territory," he says. His voice is deep, the words precise, not rough like the rogues. "I'm sorry," I whisper. "My son is sick. We needed shelter." His eyes drop to Eli. Something flickers across his face, too fast to name. "The Northern Territories belong to me," he says. "Everything in them is under my protection or my punishment. The Alpha King, the monster other wolves fear." "Please," I beg, clutching Eli tighter. "He's just a child." The king's jaw tightens. His eyes remain on Eli's feverish face. "I should kill you both," he says. "That would be our way." Tears spill down my cheeks. "Then do it quickly." His head tilts slightly, studying me. The silence stretches between us, heavy with my son's labored breaths. "No," he finally says. "You'll repay me in another way." The village sits nestled against the mountains, stone houses with smoke rising from chimneys. People move through the streets in quiet groups, heads down. They stop when we approach. The Alpha King walks ahead, his stride powerful and confident. I follow, carrying Eli wrapped in the blanket. "Alpha," they murmur as he passes, eyes downcast, bodies tense. Their gazes find me, widening with confusion or fear. A woman covers her mouth. A man turns away. "Monster King?" someone whispers. The king doesn't acknowledge them. He leads us to a small house at the edge of the village. A woman waits at the door, her gray hair pulled tight, her expression grim. "Take them inside," the king commands. "The boy needs medicine." The woman nods, not meeting his eyes. "Yes, Alpha." He turns to me. His golden gaze holds mine for a long moment. "You owe me your life," he says. "Remember that." He reaches into his pocket and tosses something at my feet. A pouch lands in the dirt with a heavy clink. "Buy medicine," he says. "The debt remains." Before I can respond, he walks away. The villagers part like water around him, fear evident in every movement. The woman touches my arm. "Come inside, girl." Her hands are gentle as she takes Eli from me. I grab the coin pouch and follow her into the house. "My name is Maeve," she says. "I'm the healer here." The house smells of herbs and smoke. She lays Eli on a small bed and begins examining him. "What's his name?" she asks. "Eli?" I say. "I'm Lena." She nods, her fingers probing Eli's throat, his chest. "How long has he been sick?" 3 days, I say. "The fever won't break." She frowns. "And how long has he been silent?" My breath catches. "How did you know?" She gives me a sad smile. "I've seen it before. Children who witness too much." I sink onto a chair. 3 months. Maeve turns to a shelf lined with bottles and jars. "He needs more than medicine." Through the window, I see people gathered in the square. Their voices rise, agitated. "What's happening?" I ask. Maeve glances outside. "The Alpha has made a decree." "What decree?" She measures powder into a cup. "He demands a bride to unite the villages." My stomach drops. "A bride?" "The Alpha King has ruled alone for 5 years," she says. "The elders believe a mate would temper his violence." She brings the medicine to Eli. "They'll choose someone by tomorrow." I help her lift Eli's head. He swallows the medicine without waking. "Rest," Maeve says. "You're safe for now." But as night falls, I cannot sleep. The king's golden eyes haunt me. The debt I owe sits heavy on my chest. When dawn comes, I take Eli and the remaining coins. We slip out while Maeve sleeps. The northern border lies 3 days north. If we can cross it, Perhaps we can find safety. We make it halfway up the mountain before Eli collapses. His fever rages higher than before. His small body shakes violently in my arms. No, 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 I beg, cradling him against me. Please, Eli, stay with me. Snow begins to fall. The wind cuts through my thin clothes. I try to shelter Eli with my body, but the cold is relentless. Help! I scream into the storm. Somebody help us! Only the wind answers. Eli's breathing grows fainter. His skin burns against mine. Please, I whisper, rocking him. Don't leave me. Darkness edges my vision. The cold numbs my limbs. I curl around Eli as the snow covers us both. I dream of golden eyes watching through the storm. I wake to warmth. Soft sheets cradle my body. A fire crackles nearby. My fingers stretch, feeling the smooth fabric beneath them. I bolt upright. The room is massive, stone walls hung with tapestries. A fire burns in a hearth larger than my old home, and beside me, in the enormous bed, lies Eli. His chest rises and falls steadily. I touch his forehead, cool, the fever broken. He will live. The deep voice startles me. The Alpha King stands at the foot of the bed, arms crossed over his chest. What happened? I ask. Running won't save him, he says. Or you. I gather Eli closer. How did you find us? His mouth curves slightly, not quite a smile. Everything in my territory belongs to me. I swallow. His fever broke. Yes. How? The king moves to the window. Snow still falls outside, blanketing the world in white. There are things in this world you don't understand, he says. My heart pounds. Did you use magic on my son? He turns, those inhuman eyes finding mine. You wanted your son alive. He is. Fear and gratitude war within me. Thank you. He walks to the door. Rest. Tomorrow changes everything. What happens tomorrow? His hand pauses on the handle. Tomorrow you become my bride. The door closes behind him with a final thud. I stare at the space where he stood, his words echoing in my mind. His bride. The Alpha King's bride. Eli stirs beside me, his eyes opening. Clear for the first time in days. I smooth his hair back. It's okay, baby. We're safe. But the lie tastes bitter on my tongue. Safe with the monster king who just claimed me. The blood-red moon hangs low in the sky. The ceremony takes place in the great hall of the keep, stone walls rising high above our heads. Torches cast dancing shadows across grim faces. I stand trembling in a gown of midnight blue. My hair washed and brushed, falling loose down my back. Eli sits with Maeve, his eyes wide and watchful. He hasn't spoken, but he's eaten, his strength returning hour by hour. The pack kneels as the Alpha King enters. His power fills the room, a tangible force that makes the air heavy. He wears black, the formal attire of a king, but no crown. Wolves need no crown to know their ruler. His eyes find mine across the hall. Something flickers in their golden depths. He stops before me. Reaches for my hand. His touch burns like fire against my skin. His fingers wrap around mine, strong and unyielding. Kneel, he commands. I sink to my knees, still holding his hand. The stone floor bites through the thin fabric of the gown. This woman is mine, he announces to the pack. Her life belongs to me. An elder approaches with a silver knife. The king takes it, the blade gleaming in the torchlight. He turns my palm upward and draws the knife across it. Pain flares sharp and bright. Blood wells from the cut. He presses his own palm against it, his blood mixing with mine. Bound by blood, the elder intones, sealed by the moon. The king's eyes never leave mine. Something shifts in his expression as our blood mingles. When he pulls away, a mark remains on my palm. His crest burned into my skin. He leans down, his lips near my ear, his breath warm against my neck. "You're safe now," he whispers, "even from me." Days pass in silence and fear. The keep is massive, a labyrinth of stone corridors and locked doors. Guards watch my every move. Servants avoid my eyes. I learn the rules quickly. Stay away from the East Wing. Never interrupt the Alpha during meetings. Never question his orders. Eli follows me everywhere, a silent shadow clutching my skirts. He watches everything with those wide, haunted eyes. The king avoids me. I glimpse him sometimes, in the great hall, in the courtyard training with his wolves. His power is unmistakable. The others defer to him without question. The pack calls me Luna now, their queen. But their eyes hold suspicion, not respect. "They don't trust humans," Maeve explains as she shows me the kitchens. "The last human to enter the keep betrayed us all." I want to ask more, but her expression warns against it. At night, I sleep alone in the massive bed. The king has not claimed those rights. Yet his mark burns on my palm when the moon rises. One morning, a servant brings breakfast to our chamber. His eyes linger too long on me. "Our Alpha chose a pretty toy," he says, stepping closer than necessary. I back away. "Leave the tray and go." His hand catches my wrist. "Does he satisfy you, human? Or would you prefer a real wolf?" Fear rises, sharp and cold. "Let go." He grins, teeth too sharp. "Maybe I'll have a taste." His words cut off as a hand closes around his throat. The king materializes behind him, lifting him off the ground. "You dare touch what's mine?" the king growls. The servant's eyes bulge. His fingers claw at the king's iron grip. "Mercy, Alpha," he chokes. "There is no mercy for those who disobey." The snap of bone echoes in the chamber. The servant drops to the floor, clutching his broken wrist, howling in pain. "Get out," the king commands. "Be grateful I only took your hand." The man crawls away, whimpering. The king watches him go, his face carved from stone. Then his eyes turn to me. "Are you hurt?" I shake my head, unable to speak. Something shifts in his expression. His gaze moves past me, softening slightly. I turn to see Eli standing in the doorway. For the first time since we arrived, he's not hiding behind me. He steps forward, hesitant. Then, to my astonishment, he walks past me, straight to the king. He stops before the massive man, looking up at him with solemn eyes, then reaches out one small hand. The king stares down at my son, surprise evident in his rigid posture. Slowly, carefully, he kneels to Eli's level. Eli touches the king's face, tracing the scar that runs from temple to jaw. The king holds perfectly still, as if afraid to breathe. His golden eyes wide with something I've never seen in them before. "Eli," I whisper, afraid for him. But Eli doesn't look at me. He drops his hand and backs away, watching the king with curious eyes. The king rises, his movements stiff. He looks at me, and for one moment, his mask slips. I see pain behind those inhuman eyes. Pain and loneliness so deep it steals my breath. Then the mask returns. He turns without a word and stalks from the chamber. That night, I can't sleep. The moment between Eli and the king replays in my mind. I rise from bed and wander the corridors. The keep sleeps around me, silent but for the occasional guard patrolling the halls. A door stands ajar at the end of a corridor I've never explored. Light spills from within. I approach carefully. The room appears to be a study, walls lined with books and maps. The king sits at a large desk, his back to the door, his shoulders bent over something in his hands. I should leave, but curiosity holds me still. He turns the object over, and moonlight catches on metal, a pendant, hanging from a chain. My heart stops. I know that pendant. I know the crest etched into its surface. My husband's family crest. My gasp betrays me. The king turns, his eyes finding me in the shadows. He rises, the pendant still in his hand. "What are you doing here?" he demands. I step into the room, my fear forgotten in the shock of recognition. "That pendant," I whisper. "Where did you get it?" His fingers close around it. "Go back to your chamber." "It belonged to my husband," I say. "Thomas Ward." The king's expression hardens. "Your husband is dead." "Yes," I say. "He died 3 years ago, killed by rogues." The pendant dangles from his fist now. The light catches the engraved wolf's head, the symbol of my husband's pack. "Rogues didn't kill your husband," he says, his voice cold as winter. "I did." The world tilts beneath my feet. "What?" "Your husband was a traitor," he says. "He led rogues into this keep 5 years ago." I shake my head. "No, Thomas wouldn't." "He betrayed his alpha," the king continues. "He betrayed us all." "You're lying," I whisper. "His betrayal cost me everything," he says. His voice rough with suppressed emotion. "My mate, my unborn child." The pendant glints in his hand, my husband's crest, the Monster King's pain. Understanding dawns, horrible and clear. "You killed my family," I say, backing away. "You murdered Thomas." "Your husband murdered mine," he growls. "He led the attack that killed my Luna, that destroyed half my pack." I press my hands to my ears. "Stop it." "He was a traitor," the king says. "A murderer." "No!" The scream tears from my throat. I turn and run, blind with tears and rage. Guards appear, alarmed by my cries. I push past them, desperate to get away. I reach my chamber, slamming the door. Eli sits up in bed, his eyes wide with fear. I lock the door, pressing my back against it. My breaths come in gasping sobs. The monster I married killed my husband. The beast who saved my son destroyed my first family. The king's voice comes through the door, low and dangerous. "You can hide, little human," he says. "But you can't run. You belong to me now." His footsteps retreat down the corridor. I slide to the floor, wrapping my arms around my knees. The mark on my palm burns, a constant reminder of my chains. Days pass in tense silence. I refuse to leave my chamber. Servants bring food, which I barely touch. Eli watches me with worried eyes. He seems to understand something has broken between the king and me. On the 3rd night, I wake to an empty bed. Eli's space beside me cold. Panic grips me. I search the chamber, calling his name silently in my mind. The door stands ajar. My son's small footprints mark the dust in the corridor. I follow them, heart racing. Down the hall, around a corner, toward the part of the keep I've never explored. The east wing, the forbidden wing. The trail leads to a door carved with wolves. It stands open, moonlight spilling from within. I peer inside. A bedchamber, larger even than mine, preserved as if waiting for someone to return. Eli stands at the foot of the massive bed, staring up at a portrait on the wall. A woman with hair like sunlight and eyes like summer sky. Beautiful and fierce. The king's dead mate. I step inside, reaching for my son. "Eli, we can't be here." "Neither of you should be here," a voice says behind me. I turn to find Maeve in the doorway, her face grave in the moonlight. "I'm sorry," I say. "Eli wandered in. I was just getting him." Maeve enters the room, closing the door behind her. Her eyes move to the portrait, then back to me. "You look like her," she says softly. "That's why he chose you." I glance at the portrait again, the golden hair, the delicate features. "I don't understand," I say. Maeve sighs. "Ronan loved her more than life itself." Ronan, the king's name. I've never heard anyone speak it. "What happened to her?" I ask. "Betrayal," Maeve says. "Your husband led rogues into the keep while Ronan was away." I shake my head. "Thomas wouldn't do that." "He did," Maeve insists. For money, for power. He was promised his own territory. She touches the bed gently. They killed her here. Cut the child from her body. Horror fills me. Eli presses against my leg, sensing my distress. The past bleeds, Maeve says. Don't let it drown you. A growl sounds outside the window. We freeze. Maeve moves to the glass, peering into the darkness. Intruders, she whispers. The keep erupts in chaos. Howls echo through the night. Guards rush past, shifting mid-stride into massive wolves. Stay here, Maeve commands, locking the chamber door. Don't open it for anyone but the Alpha. I clutch Eli to my chest, his small body trembling against mine. The sounds of battle drift from the courtyard below. Snarls, screams, the thud of bodies against stone. I move to the window, careful to stay hidden behind the curtain. The courtyard teems with fighting wolves. Blood stains the snow. At the center stands the king, Ronan, in his human form. He dispatches attackers with brutal efficiency, his movements graceful and lethal. Two bodies lie at his feet. Not rogues this time. Scouts, dressed in black with silver medallions around their necks. Even from here, I can see the crest. A silver wolf's head, different from my husband's, but similar enough to recognize. Cain, the rival pack that borders the Northern Territory. Ronan looks up suddenly, his golden eyes finding the window where I stand. His face is splattered with blood, his expression cold and remote. The scouts' bodies are dragged away. The courtyard clears. Minutes later, boots sound in the corridor. The door flies open. Ronan fills the doorway, still spattered with blood. His eyes find me immediately. What are you doing in this wing? He demands. I push Eli behind me. He wandered in. I followed. Ronan stalks into the room, his power filling the space. His gaze moves to the portrait, then back to me. You're confined to your chambers, he says. We're under attack. Those weren't rogues, I say. They were Cain wolves. His eyes narrow. You recognize the crest. My father traded with Cain territory, I say, before the borders closed. Their Alpha wants my territory, Ronan says. Darius Cain has waited years for revenge. Revenge for what? Ronan's jaw tightens. For denying him what he believes is his birthright. I step forward, anger overriding fear. Like you denied my husband his life? His eyes flash dangerously. Your husband was a traitor. So you say, I retort. All I know is you killed him and then claimed me. Ronan moves closer, looming over me. If you leave these walls, I'll drag you back myself. The threat hangs between us. But something else lingers in his eyes, something that looks almost like concern. Stay in your chamber, he says, softer now. Keep the boy with you. He turns to leave, then stops. Looks back at the portrait one last time. In that moment, I see what Maeve meant. The past bleeds, and Ronan Vale drowns in it daily. The next evening, Eli disappears. One moment he's playing quietly beside the fire in our chamber. The next, he's gone. I search frantically, calling his name in my mind, though I know he won't answer verbally. The guards help, searching every corridor, every room. But Eli has vanished. Panic builds with each passing hour. Night falls, the full moon rising huge and yellow over the mountains. I stand at the keep gates, wrapped in a cloak, watching the forest edge with desperate eyes. A guard approaches. Luna, you should go inside. My son is out there, I say, voice breaking. The Alpha leads the hunt, he assures me. He'll find the boy. But his confidence doesn't ease my fear. Something catches my eye in the snow near the gate. I rush forward, dropping to my knees, a small wooden wolf, carved by one of the pack members for Eli. Beside it, claw marks in the snow. He was taken, I whisper. The guard kneels beside me, examining the tracks. Cain wolves, he confirms. Howls rise from the forest, not the familiar voices of our pack, Stranger, harsher calls. The guard grips my arm. Inside, Luna, now. But Eli, the Alpha ordered you protected at all costs. He drags me inside just as the forest erupts with snarls and growls. The battle spills from the trees, wolves locked in combat, rolling through snow-stained red with blood. I break from the guard's grip and run to the battlement. From here, I can see the chaos below. A small clearing has formed in the center of the fighting. There stands Darius Kane, in human form, holding Eli by the arm. My heart stops. Eli's face is pale but determined. He doesn't cry, doesn't struggle. His eyes search the battlefield. Then the crowd of wolves parts. Ronan emerges in his massive black wolf form, blood dripping from his jaws. Darius smiles, cruel and confident. I have your Luna's son, Monster King, he calls. The boy for the crown. The black wolf stops. His golden eyes fix on Eli, then move to Darius. A ripple passes through the massive body. Bones shift, fur recedes. Ronan stands naked in the snow, his human form every bit as intimidating as his wolf. Let the boy go, he says. His voice carries across the battlefield, silencing the ongoing skirmishes. This is between us. Darius laughs. Everything you love dies, Vale. That was my promise. Ronan steps forward. The boy has nothing to do with our war. He's yours now, isn't he? Darius taunts. Your precious Luna's son. Something shifts in Ronan's expression. His eyes find Eli's small face. Yes, he says, and the single word carries a weight I don't understand. He's mine. Then he attacks. The speed is inhuman. One moment, Ronan stands 20 paces away. The next, he collides with Darius. Eli falls, scrambling away from the fighting men. A guard rushes forward, snatching him to safety. Ronan and Darius battle in human form, a blur of fists and teeth. Blood sprays across the snow. Then Ronan shifts. The massive black wolf tears into Darius. The rival Alpha screams, once, before blood chokes his throat. The fight ends as quickly as it began. Darius lies motionless in the snow. Ronan stands over him, breathing heavily. The Kane wolves retreat, dragging their wounded. The northern pack lets them go, too concerned with their own injured. I rush down to the courtyard. The guard brings Eli to me, and I collapse to my knees, clutching him against my chest. Are you hurt? I whisper, checking him frantically. He shakes his head, his eyes fixed over my shoulder. I turn to see Ronan approaching. He's shifted back to human form, hastily dressed in a cloak someone provided. Blood still stains his skin. He stops before us, his golden eyes assessing Eli carefully. He's unharmed, Ronan says. I nod, unable to speak through my tears of relief. Ronan kneels, bringing himself to Eli's level. Their eyes meet, gold to brown, and something unspoken passes between them. Eli's small hand reaches out, touching Ronan's bloodied face gently. Thank you, I whisper. For saving him. Ronan's eyes find mine. I've already lost one family, he says quietly. I won't lose another. The words hang between us, weighted with meaning I'm afraid to interpret. He rises, turning to address the gathered pack. Orders for the wounded, for guards to patrol the borders. But as he walks away, I can't forget what he said. Family. For the first time, I wonder if the Monster King might be something else entirely. That night, Eli sleeps soundly beside me, exhausted from his ordeal. I sit by the window, watching the stars, unable to rest. A knock sounds at the door. I open it to find Ronan, cleaned of blood, but still bearing fresh wounds. May I enter? He asks formally. I step aside, surprised by his courtesy. He hasn't requested permission before. He moves to Eli's bedside, watching him sleep. His expression softens in a way I've never seen. He was brave, Ronan says. Yes, I agree. He always has been. Ronan turns to me. Like his mother, the unexpected praise startles me. I'm not brave, I say, just desperate. Desperation without courage is just fear, he replies. You have both. He walks to the window, looking out at the night. The silence stretches between us, not entirely uncomfortable. I protected him, Ronan says finally. Why? The question seems directed at himself more than me. Because he's mine, I answer, echoing his words from the battlefield. Ronan's breath catches. He turns, his golden eyes finding mine in the dim light. Because he's yours, he agrees softly. The admission changes something between us. A crack in the wall of hatred and suspicion. I approach carefully, stopping an arm's length away. My husband, I begin. Was a traitor, Ronan finishes. But you didn't know that. I shake my head. No, I thought he died a hero. He died a coward, Ronan says, but without the earlier venom. Selling pack secrets for power. I want to defend Thomas, but doubt has taken root. The pendant, the similar crests, the timing of his death. Darius sent a message, Ronan continues. He wants the boy. Fear grips me. Why? Because I care what happens to him, Ronan says simply. His honesty disarms me. You would start a war over my son? I've already lost one family, he repeats, meeting my eyes. I won't lose another. Something shifts between us. The air charged with possibilities neither of us dares name. I step closer. Then we'll fight together. His eyes widen slightly, surprised by my solidarity. I reach out, hesitant, and touch his arm. For Eli. Ronan looks down at my hand on his skin. He covers it with his own, engulfing my fingers in his warmth. For Eli, he agrees. And for you. The keep prepares for war,